Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Tuesday to ya. I hope you guys had a great MLK Day yesterday, along with presidential inauguration. What a really busy day yesterday, huh? So, with all that being said, I'm on here today because I run around stuff. This will be my first one, and his name is He is the Artist. So you guys can look out for his interview coming on Friday, this Friday, and it'll be out in the morning. So definitely check it out, support his music, and hopefully you guys enjoy the interview and the conversation we have. So this is one of the things I was doing before I had stopped after the pandemic kind of came. That was the last time I kind of did any independent artists in 2020. So it's been a 5 year break for me. And now I'm getting back on that train, rolling to interview those that put out some music because I like that part too. And that's part of God's gift to his word anyway, is the interview parts, talking to independent artists. I love doing that. I really enjoy doing it. So this is you're going to see those come back. So this is one of those things I really enjoy doing. So as I was thinking about sharing this morning, thinking about a couple of things that I wanted to really talk about. And one thing, of course, besides cuffing season independent artists, was just letting things that are old go and not let people disturb your peace. Just don't let it happen. And why I bring that up is because there is always somebody somewhere that's going to try and do that, right? We live in a world where there are people that will somehow find a way to get underneath your skin, so to speak, but you can't let them disturb your peace. And one of the things that was interesting to me this week is, as I share with you guys, is about my family member who reached out to me. So before I get all into the weeds of that, what I do want to share about cuffing season is I think I have a few more episodes to go over that myself and Pastor Jay will kind of do to wrap up because we're getting close to the end. So when we get closer to the end of cupping season, there's a little bit less of conversation about it because everything's kind of more heightened around the really big holidays of getting from Thanksgiving to Christmas to New Year's. And those are kind of the major crux ones. And then we kind of taper off when we get over to Valentine's Day because then the whole thing will stop and start again. And of course, it won't be as heightened. It'll probably still be going on through the rest of the year, but it's not as heightened during the holidays as it is. So we won't really be hitting that much cuffing season per se until we get to the last kind of tail end. So we might have a couple more episodes to kind of put out there, and I'll let you know when those come up, and we'll be talking about those, and you'll of course hear from my colleague friend, Pastor Jay, when we get a chance to put one of those out. But also, before I get into my story, too, I was so just happy yesterday, just thinking about my kids and thinking about just everything that the Lord has been doing for me and blessing me with. And these are like intangible things as well. And I'm like, wow. And I was sharing with some friends yesterday all these different things that I've been doing. I'm like, wow. And one of my friends was like, I need a calendar or a planner just to keep up with you. I was like, I need a planner for myself. So, I mean, that's not a bad thing. And it's not busy, overwhelming. It's not busy just trying to act like I'm doing things. It's real productive busy. And it's things that I know are going to help me move to the next point in my life. So I'm really excited about it. So as you guys can see, once again, just to give a shout out to he's the artist. I enjoyed talking with him, and so when that podcast and the video form and in audio form drop, please do share it and definitely send a comment, share it, subscribe, like it, do all the things, and then just check him out. He had something that dropped yesterday, so he's got a lot of new music that's going to be coming out too. So please look out for that. He's got something coming out for Valentine's Day and then something coming out in May too. So that's going to be pretty exciting to just know those different things are happening for him. So as I continue, I'm going to go back to my story now because I was like, I wanted to share about that. And I got to be mindful of what I'm doing. And it's cold out here, so I'm going to put my gloves on. So if I'm shifting around, no, that's what I'm doing. And if you make a comment, you come on, I'm going to say hello to you now. But if you come on later and you don't, and I don't acknowledge you, don't think that it's strange. I'm just going to put you in my bag like I normally do and just keep on talking until I got to get back. So I'm not going to make this a long, long walk and talk today because I do have something I have to get to do. So anyway, my family member, which is one of my sisters, reached out to me, and I don't have a family like dynamic that you would think is like super like horrendous in the way that it could be really, really violent and vile and all of that. But I do have things that, when it comes to my family members, that aren't the best, and they don't really make for a really close bonding relationship for someone to, be a family member. Normally, family members are close and they care for each other and they care about each other, and that's not always the case for me. So anyway, for me, my sister reached out to me, and she's been reaching out to me, and these little things of hi and things of that nature, which is fine, but I'm always wondering why, and I shouldn't wonder why for that. I mean, I used to wonder, God, why is this happening to me? But now that's really not it. It's like you're reaching out and I'm trying to understand why. Now, I have had the pleasure of understanding what it is when you have someone to smile in your face, and literally as they're smiling in your face, they're stabbing you in the back at the same time. I have understood what that means. I have understood what it means when somebody says, "Oh, I'm your friend," and really, they're not. And same thing with my family members. And please do not get me wrong. I do love them as my family. And I would want nothing more than to be able to 100% just hang out with them and not ever think in the back of my mind, do they have a hidden agenda for me? Do they have a hidden agenda for why they want to talk to me? What is the real? What's the real deal behind the reaching out? So that's always in the back of my mind, unfortunately. And I try really hard not for it to be, but they never cease to amaze me when I'm thinking, oh no, totally, this is totally them just being, trying to be cool and be decent. And then they show me, yeah, no, we're not trying to be decent. So anyway, let me get back to my story, and I'll let you know what's up and why I said that. So first, I was supposed to, and I think I spoke about this with you guys before, for when Christmas came, I was supposed to be going out to California where they're at. And I didn't because of the conversation my both of my sisters and myself had. And that conversation just led to, yep, it's probably not a good idea for me and my family to come out there. So we didn't. So, all the holidays have passed now, right? So now I hadn't really spoken to them or anything like that. And then my sister would reach out and say hi. I said a little hi back. How are you? I said good. Like, I'm not trying to open doors of anything like that. And whenever something's going on, sometimes they'll tell me, "Hey, if you need anything, reach out to us, and we'll help you. If you need anything." But that whole sentence, that whole thing for me, that's not really true. Because when I have been in need before, there was no help. And so whenever they say that, "Hey, if you need anything, give us a holler. We will, come over or we'll help you." Da 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 da. I'm like, okay. Well, since recently my sister has been reaching out, saying these little highs in the text, and they've been like one word, three word phrases. How are you? And my response either good or fine. And then yesterday she did it again. Hi. I was like, hi. How are you? Good. My response. Because I'm not trying to get into the weeds of anything. I'm just that's it. So then she says, "Oh, is there anything you need?" And I was like, "Oh gosh, here we go with that phrase, which means nothing." I said, "Yeah, I could use an extra $2,000." Just be really facetious and sarcastic. Yeah, I could use an extra 2 grand. She's like, "Oh, well, you can call dad." No, the point is, I said something outrageous because, first of all, that's not going to happen. Second of all, you guys don't really want to help. I don't even understand why you even put that question out there. And sometimes when people do things, they're trying to disturb your peace. And I mean that in the sense of they know they're not going to do anything. You know they're not going to do anything. So if I was really 100% going to depend on them, I would be left holding the bag of emotion of, wow, they didn't come through. But I don't expect anything from them. I have no expectations. And that's one of the things that I've learned to do with a lot of people. I don't have expectations over who's going to do what. When people show up in your life and they move a certain way, you take them for what they're showing you. You don't try to see past it. You don't try to make, any excuses for it, any try to explaining it away, logicalize it, rationalize it. None of that. I don't do that. When I was younger, I used to, oh, maybe they're too busy. Maybe they got something going on. Maybe they're out of town. All these different rationales and all these different things that were plainly just not true. Because if someone really wants to deal with you and engage with you, they'll find the time and they'll make a way to conversate with you and hang out with you. They'll make you a priority. And people know this. People are not so busy that they can't reach out. When they have certain people that they want to reach out to, nothing's too busy for them. They'll find a way, right? If I say I'm going to reach out to, I'll just make up a name. I'm going to reach out to Rebecca. Rebecca, I'm going to reach out to Rebecca. And I really like her. I really like how she acts. I really like it. I enjoy her conversation. I enjoy talking to her. So I'm going to reach out to her by text, by phone, by something. Hey, let's go out and get lunch because I really